Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good. Let's see what we can look at here. Fix crash. I think this one was ready to be merged, right? Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Fix crash in that. Yeah. Fix crash. Okay, let me see. So this is the new launcher not having its special power module loaded. That's fine. Okay. Should we add this to stability or not? I mean, it is a bug, but it's also stability. Probably let's put it stability. Yeah. See that label crash. I think there was something. Critical. I will elevate this to critical. Stability. Fix game crash. Fix game crash. Okay. Good. Let's see what else do we have here. Remove RTS internal. That's my responsibility. Avoid logging. Are we sure we want either logging for RTS profile? I think neither would be better. Doesn't make sense for a profile macro to do this. Less logging certainly makes sense for profiling because that slows, that can have a performance impact. Whether one log is faster than the other, I do not know, and I think we do not care at this time because we are not doing any profiling at this time. Doing any profiling or performance optimizations, because we are not focusing on profiling or performance optimization at this time. Because logging can have a performance impact. Whether one log is faster than the other, I do not know anything. I think we do not care at this time because we are not. This change is only concerned about removing RTS internal and the things it touches. Yeah, so this is an unrelated question. I don't care really. We're not profiling. We're not doing performance optimizations. Whether this is the amazing change that is needed, it doesn't matter. It's just transferring it from internal to profile because internal is being removed, and the next logical thing it could be in is RTS profile. So we move it there, and we're done. That's it. We don't care about whether this is a golden goose or the most epic performance or super amazing useful. We don't care. It doesn't matter. So we only want to get rid of RTS internal. That's all that matters. And if we can get that done for this change, then that's all we need. Right? So yeah, no need to like dig this deeper. Yeah. Good. Okay, what's next? This one is draft. Good, let me see if there's anything else I need to work on from my changes. I have 10 open. This one was open today. This one is being reviewed. This one is being reviewed, but I answered everything as far as I'm aware. This one, I also answered everything. I want to make sure that I react to all the comments as fast as possible before I jump on anything else, because I don't want anyone to look at my reviews and say, hey, he's not working on this stuff. Like, as soon as there's something coming in, I want to deal with it straight away so that there's no stalling in my reviews. Because I see this happening with the other reviews where someone may not like work on these things and then they just, go into oblivion. So I think it's important to like keep updating and keep responding to all the comments to make sure the reviewers are happy, right? Yeah, good. So this one is waiting for review from OmniBlade before we can replicate it in generals. Yeah. So that's fine. This one is approved, but we are waiting for a review on this one here. Yeah. Yeah, we need a review on this. Okay, fix using mask. This one got some comments, but no reviewer comments. this one, I think I did. No one looked. Okay. No one looked here, and this one. This one is waiting for review. I think I'm the only one that can reproduce this issue. I need to work on this one here. Right, I didn't push it yet. Hold on. I did that yesterday. This one here. Update comments. Yeah. Maybe we should. Let me switch to that change. Yeah. Should type the small system debug help, game debug help, system and game. Okay. So maybe we should say to prevent the graphics driver. Graphics driver. Oh, I just realized. Hold on. Huh? Did we not replicate this to generals? Oh, we did. Huh? Right. Okay. Okay, anything else I should do here? Okay. Good. So comment updated. Repastes. Okay, I think that's it. Now regarding open changes, so let me look at here fbrats3. He has 3 open changes. Just to make sure we're on the same page for this PR, I need to remove the version generation logic from weekly release, roll back the version logic and build toolchain. Remove the Win32 builds. Preview. Roll back the version logic. This one here. Remove the version generation, roll back the version logic, change the release title format. The Win32 builds. Yes, that would be good. So for versioning, we now use the Git watcher. So for versioning, I have prepared a change that uses a CMake script to generate an additional Git version file for C++, which looks like so. We can generate another version of this that the CI could read in JSON format, or just plain text, whatever works. Of this in CMake, that the CI could read in JSON format, or just plain text, whatever works. Additionally, we have CMake lists. Let me search for. Is it CMake builds? Compose. Where do we generate the file that is responsible for build user? Here. Additionally, we write game version information in generals ND code main here, this one here. Copy. Can we select multiple lines? Here. Copy lines. Oh. What happened here was what? Oh. So for versioning, I've prepared a change that uses CMake script to generate additional Git version file for C++, which looks like so. We can generate another version of this in CMake with a CI that the CI could read in JSON format or just plain text, whatever works. Additionally, we write game version information in. For in-game versioning, I currently settled on version 1.04 R 1.04 currently settled on version major is 16, right? 16. I know, just major dot version minor R, and then it's here revision R, and then commit timestamp. Let me see that again. Oof. Okay, so it's a date, not just revision, and then the author. Let's do this by version build user. Which in turn should look like so. R5, I don't know, let's put some number, 550 by the swaggers. For version build user, we do not yet have logic in place to actually generate the string from CI. So that is something we need to do. We need to add in this change. Do you think you can? Do you think you can work with this information? Do you need assistance? I can help with the CMake side of things. I think we need to finalize. I've prepared a change that CMake script to generate additional Git version. That generates an additional Git version file for C++. I think CI needs to tell CMake what the version build user should be. 2, build the games. 3, read tell CMake what the version should be before generating CMake. Build the games with CMake. Read relevant version information files that CMake has generated to get reads relevant files that CMake has generated to get game version information. Yeah, I think it would be very good to get these weekly releases running, pre-releases, preview versions. Yeah, that needs a bit of work. Yeah. Maybe I should add a Ninja meme here and see what Ninja has in store. There's Good. Then I think it's time to get back to some code here. We did a lot of reviewing lately. Too much reviews. The thing is, when I don't work on the stuff myself, then I notice that I spend significant amount of in reviews because there's just so much to comment, which sounds kind of bad, but I mean, it is the truth. I think it's easier to see things when someone else does something, because like when you work on something yourself, then you probably think it's all perfect, right? Because you did it to the best of your knowledge, right? So if there's no one like highlighting your mistakes, then you won't notice eventually. Well, you can if you like review your own stuff and you dig. If you eventually see mistakes you made yourself, but it's probably easier to see mistakes if someone else makes them, right? Because you go with a different perspective approach that thing. And so yeah, whenever I look at other reviews, I just see so many things because I just wouldn't do it the same way, right? There's always a better way, essentially. Yeah, always a better way, and that costs a lot of time. Reviewing is very costly. Yeah. Good. So I wanted to look at a specific issue. Let's get back to main branch. Okay, let's build this again. Yeah. Good. So we want to fix that issue on game boot. Let me see. It's this one here. I think it was reported by Helmut. Here, Helmut. Yeah, this one. A false debug error appears during the game cleanup. Oof. Bug. This project's. Okay, let's see. Okay, pool mismatch. That's the first problem we are seeing here. Let's take a look at that. I think that's also new, isn't it? global data, parse game data definition. Okay, let's see. Load. Parse game data definition. Yeah. Okay, so the problem is we have allocated some ASCII string probably before the but then we should have seen a assert from the dynamic memory allocator, right? That's weird. Okay, so where do we allocate new global data? Yeah, command line. Create global data. Yeah. Here. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let me see. Okay, yeah, that's very early. So if we open up watch, the dynamic memory allocator, is that even correct? It is, it's null. So do we allocate any strings in here? We do here. Allocator. ASCII string. Why is the dynamic memory allocator created so late then? Like, what is this? Why is it so late? Because it is created. It is created in the main init memory. We are in the we are in static initialization already. Okay. I see. Ooh. And that creates debug inits. Why do we create? Why do we create debug init? Because of the lock here. Oh boy. Okay. Maybe debug inits. Debug clock. Debug inits. Yeah. Basically, the so basically we want to create the we need to why do we need to pass a command line? Already forgot that. Pass command line. Yes, pass. There's things like, okay, so it's very early. Right. So the global data is necessary to pass a command line, and the command line arguments are necessary to initialize a client instance, and a client instance is necessary to create the log file. Yeah. Pass initial command line. Initialize the client instance before creating the log file with an instance specific name. Determine the client instance ID before creating the log file with an instance specific name. Debug initialization can happen very early. Pass the initial command line. Pass the initial command line because it can affect the client instance behavior. See. Okay. Okay. Can we maybe? How about? Can we maybe just log out? Maybe we need to log it out afterwards. We first initialize the memory stuff and then we log it out. Yeah. We can say initialized memory manager prior to main. Oof, this one has a debug crash in there. Debug crash. Memory manager is already initialized. Debug crash. Who else is calling this? Just this. Debug inits. Where do we call debug shutdown? It would be nice to keep the order. Initialize the debug before creating the memory manager and after it has been shut down, but it has now this dependency, this requirement of allocating global data before that. They have allocate strings. How can we solve this? Oh man. It's not easy. Um, How do we do with this? So we maybe debug inits. Debug inits. Yeah. Memory manager. Debugging. Memory manager. Yeah, so it is a bit upsetting, this order. By the way, what is this? Debug shutdown? Okay, return. Yeah, so. Yeah. Okay, so. So. So the memory manager wants to use debug logging, but the debug also wants to use the memory manager. So we have a cyclic dependency. Let me see. Debug log. Debug log. This is only debug init. That's a bit of a problem. So the client instance itself, it doesn't use any allocations. It uses a std string. Well, it uses debug crash. Okay, it's a bit of a problem that we have put ourselves in here with this code. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. bug in it. Okay, maybe. Oh, that's a bit of a problem. Yeah. There must be a solution. There must be a solution. I just don't see it right now. So this function will create the global data, and this will allocate, and in the global data we have a constructor, and the constructor will create a bunch of strings, right? No? Like this one, for example. Why did it not reach that? Pragma. Optimize off. Why is it not reaching that breakpoint? What is this? Huh? Now it is. Did I put that on the wrong file? Oh, I probably edited the generals. Okay. Okay, and this one will go in here. And this one will hit this assert. Oh, no, it's not. Huh. Oh, right, we put this to the end already. Yeah. Okay, let's put it back to the front again. Okay, and now the still not 0. What? Why is it not 0? Okay, I'm wondering why this guy is not 0. That doesn't make sense. Uh, mm, oof. 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 It's quite a bit astonishing that there's this link tester increment, and then there's this thing here, and this is third. Like, there's so much overhead here. Well, not so much, but there's quite some overheads, right? Yeah. The link tester. Why is this needed here? Why is this compiled in release? What is this? I'm shocked. Why is this here? Um, why is the link test? Why is this compiled in release? What is this? Okay, I mean, that's something we should change. Yeah? Anyway, yeah. So there's pre-main memory init manager. Oh boy. Oh. That's the problem, isn't it? Okay, I still am shocked that this thing is not null. Why is that not null? I don't know. Why is this not null? It does find a pool. I also get some data. Huh? How does this work? Why is this not null? What is this? pre-main is not null. Huh? I'm shocked. How is this not null? This guy. How is... Like, what? Why is this not crashing? I don't understand. It means that something is leaking here, right? Because here it will create a dynamic memory allocator. Here. And then... Okay, where is this assigned? Let me see. So. So there are two places. There's this one here, right? I mean, it must be... Let's put a breakpoint in this guy. Here. It must be here, right? Here. There. Let's put a pragma optimize off here. Okay. Aha. When we allocate the global data, when we allocate the global data, we already create a dynamic memory allocator here. Let's see. Okay, so the reason why the dynamic memory allocator is created twice is because inside this new, there is another new. That's why. So, okay, so... The reason this is screwing up is that now we call new inside new, which will create the game memory twice. This is screwing up. The reason this is screwing up, we call new inside new, which will create a dynamic memory allocator twice. Okay, so how do we deal with this? So we have a new here. Right, so the problem is inside pre-main init memory manager, we call new again. Yeah. I see. Yeah. Right. I see. Okay. Okay, so the problem is pretty clear here. We have trouble. Yeah, And debug init, we want to allocate something as well, namely the global data, but inside the global data, there's more stuff to allocate, right? So yeah, it's a rabbit hole. So one solution is to move the debug init behind this, right? That is possible. Or create global data. Right, global data. Subsystem. How do we delete the global data? Is there like delete the writable global data? Is that this thing? Oh, it is. The original. Delete. Where else do we delete the subsystem? Here we have init subsystem. Do we have something like delete subsystem? Let me see. I think we have like reset subsystems, right? How do we delete subsystems typically? Image and subsystem. We don't delete. Okay, we don't. Shut down, or what is it? This there? Huh? Shut down all. Let's not shut down all. Why is it jumping to the wrong shit? What is this? Aha. We have a delete here. Oof. Oof. How does this work then? How does the global data end up in the subsystem list? How does that happen? Subsystem list. Add subsystem. Okay, who's calling that? Ah, here. Oof. Oof. Why is the global data a subsystem then? It won't end up as this thing, right? Or will it? Shit. Global data. Oh boy. Init, reset updates. Init, reset update. Init, reset. I think this totally. I think we totally screwed up the order of events here. Yeah. We did not consider this well. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so there are multiple problems. Multiple problems. Init. Init subsystem. Pushback. What is the difference between all subsystems and subsystems? What? What is this? Oh boy. Yeah. Oh boy, that is crucial. Ugh. Okay, how do we solve this? How do we solve this? So, yeah. Debug init. So debug init essentially will call, it's also interesting that it will call debug init again, right? It will call this twice. But that is guarded. That is guarded. So maybe but that should be guarded as well, right? Because we have this here. Huh. Right. So, so what we could do is, yeah, we could allocate. Yeah. So we could add a test here before this again for this. That could work. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we could guard this, but then I'm not sure if that is all that is needed. Yeah. So this will init. So new will init this guy, and this guy will init debug, and debug will init this memory manager as well, right? So like we have this crazy dependencies here. Jesus. So So I think what we can do is here if that. Swag us at fix debug init may also allocate and cause let's see debug init. What would this do? Debug flags. So this will work. Flags. Flags and flags are not 0. Double check that. Double check that. Double check that the memory manager is not already created by the code above. Tweak. Okay, this could work. Yeah. So then this will allocate, right? So this will then also call, yeah. I think this can work, yeah. Okay, let's put a test here again. Yeah. Oops. Good. So this is null. Then we step in here, and this should now recursively call this here. Yeah. So this is null again, and now this is now, we reach this a second time, right? And now it's interesting that here we have a debug log. Yeah. You know what? I mean, what we're doing here effectively is identical to moving this to the end of the shit, right? It's nothing else that it's what we're doing here. Yeah, so basically we already have this set, so yeah. And then I will log. Can I log now? I can. Yeah. Okay, then I think this is essentially what we're doing is we move this to the end. It's identical to that. Yeah. This is identical. But the problem is then but I think we want to have this before. I think debug, man, I don't like it. Debug init must be free of allocations, essentially. But it no longer is. This one is allocating. This one, initialize, is also allocating. Yeah. Hold on. Initialize here. This one is also allocating here. Actually, yeah, this is a long string. This is a long string, so it should have also allocated here. So the bug already existed for a while. Also, yeah, there's allocation here. SCD string. Okay, so we need to have. Okay, you know what? So in here, is there any debug logging or anything? There's none. What about this one? This one doesn't do any debug logging. What about the inits? My, that was easy. Okay. This one. This one. This one has logging here. Maybe we need a debug init, a pre-init, and an init. Ugh. Maybe it needs to be 2 steps. But it can't be. It can't be 2 steps. This is a crazy cyclic dependency that is not straightforward to solve. Oh boy. Oh man. Debug init. Okay. Debug init. gosh. Oh, this is quite a bit of a trouble. Yeah. There must be a solution. I'm just oblivious to it right now. Yeah. Shit. Cyclic dependency. The debug init. The problem is we're allocating in there. We shouldn't allocate. Yeah. Shouldn't allocate. It is. It isn't. Shit. It's not good. Why do we use sysallocate do not zero, by the way? Why is it not using malloc? Could have been much simpler. Okay. So I can't think of a solution here. Okay, so shit. Another thing that might be possible is that we queue up certain logs, right? We queue them up and we dump them Is it possible? Debug log. No, debug. Yeah, debug log. Debug not in it. So we could say that if the debug flags are 0, then isn't this returning a length? What? You know, building a container is also not so smart. The container would have to also have static storage. Ugh. Nah. The only other option I see is that we postpone those asserts, right? We return status here. Return status. It's only this, right, that prints something. Where was it? Huh? Wasn't there something here that was... Here. So there's one debug assert crash. Yeah. Only one. Yeah. So the initialization of the memory manager is dependent on the log, and the initialization of the log is dependent on the memory manager. But the dependency is probably more critical. Memory manager on debug init. That is more important that this dependency is satisfied. Having logging for memory initialization is rather unimportant. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the easiest approach is to move it to the bottom. I can't think of any other way. We have to move it down here, but yeah. Don't see it. I don't want to move it behind there. It's also not good. Oh man. This is not easy to solve. Yeah. Oh boy. What can we do? it's a massive problem. The debug init, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And technically, it already was broken when we added the client instance in there. This already broke it. This broke it a bit more. So it didn't do any allocations before that, right? Like all this is allocation free, renaming, blah blah. Yeah. Yeah. We could this one could be changed to become without to work without allocations. This one is a bit more difficult. Because it has the ASCII strings in there. Pass command line for startup. How about I have another idea. We can do we can have another one. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's even called here before the memory manager. But it could be called, oh, headless. Yes. Yes. Okay, so I think that this one here, thinking how to salvage this. Changing any order here at boot up is dangerous. Yeah. Okay. So I have the impression that maybe we need another pass command line for debug init, which is called here in debug init, right? But this one for startup, this is already way before this. Initialize app windows. Oh boy. Okay, so pass command line for startup. Okay, how about first step? We make this function Return first instance. Okay, so the first thing we can do is we can remove the allocation from this. Let's add a comment here. Warning, this function must not allocate anything. Must not allocate anything because it can be called before memory manager is initialized. Maybe it would be nice if note this function must not allocate anything because it can be called. Then we say here char instance name. Make that buffer, I don't know, plenty long. How long is this here? Can we see? I don't know. We just make it. How much characters are these? 37. Okay, and we can make it 64. Yeah, 64. Okay, then we make str copy, str copy. Length, trust me, bro. So str and copy. Array size. Destination source. Now it makes sense. I think we can improve it another time with strlcat, which we don't yet have. We do strcat. Okay. Okay, so hold on. So this is 70. And we can do array size. Well, that's not an array, isn't it? That's stupid. So this is how long? 37. 37. Plus 1 plus 33. That's kind of stupid, isn't it? So let's just make it 128. How about that? That's plenty large now. Yeah. We can also do general GUID instead of a macro. We make it char general GUID equals that. Make const char. And then we do array size general GUID plus 1 plus 33, which is 71. We can do plus 1. That's for the null terminator, then 1 for this, and 33 for this, but this one already includes the null terminator as well. So let's do a 32 plus 1. Then here we do also 32 plus 1. That works. 71. Okay, and then we do str copy, yep, and str cat and cat. Okay, this works. Good. Okay. Can do that. Yeah. Okay. So this will work. Good. So the allocation there is gone. Now regarding init. Regarding pass command line for startup. So I suspect that there we need a new one, pass command line for debug init. For client instance. Hold on. Can we check what this does here? Params for startup. Params, pass no win, pass headless. Right. Pass headless. Pass replay. Pass replay. It's the only place that calls it. How about right replay name? Yeah, exit one. This one is also allocating. How about here we say if the writable global data this so command line pass replay here. So how about we create a new static command line params for client instance. We do this. Client instance. Here we do a void command line, pass command line for client instance. Let me rename this to create the global data. Then here we say pass comma params startup params for client instance. Okay. Do we care about this? Maybe not. Maybe we don't care about this in this particular case. Maybe here we need to say if not is initialized. We do here debug. No, we don't do debug there. Okay. And then we can call this directly inside client instance. Then we call this in here. Command line. Pass command line for client instance. It should not be in there. I think it should be outside. So we call this here. Let's put this comment here. Okay, so this might work now, at least for the debug initialization. Yeah. Yeah. Let's stop this. Okay, well, I think we are making progress here. Yeah. Yeah. Nodes. This code path. We should have asserts instead of nodes. But we can't do asserts here because we can't. Ugh. We can put normal asserts. Asserts. What do we want to write in the assert? Well, I don't know. I think we have to make a nodes. Nodes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this looks like it could work. Yeah. Well, we should probably add also here note this code path must not allocate. Okay, I think this might work. Let's see. It's quite finicky, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Let's see if we are lucky. Good. So we enter this guy. We go to debug init. Yeah. All right. Main thread ID. What? Why is this here? Maybe we shouldn't change this here. Let me redo that. Okay, so we enter this. We enter this guy. We go in here. And we allocate. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. There's an allocation here. And there's another allocation here. Okay, so we have two allocations in here. Yeah. We can use our malloc allocator. All right. We can use our malloc allocator, which we don't yet have in here. We have it in another change. Right, I can use that. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea. Okay. I will take a break now. It has been almost 3 hours, yeah. We can use a malloc allocator, which I have buried in some other change. I think in this one here. Here, the malloc allocator. So we need this guy for this change as well. This guy. Okay, I think that will work. Can do that. Then we can also use std string in RTS client instance again. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Good. I will take a break here. I have a plan now. Yeah, good. Then I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.